There is a reason that the Law and Order franchise is keeping Olivia Benson, Mariska Hargitay, and Elliot Stabler, Christopher Maloney, apart for the moment. The pair had off-the-charts chemistry when they worked together during the first 12 seasons of Law and Order, SVU, but Stabler was married with 5 children, so it was unlikely anything would ever happen. However, Law and Order, SVU's Benson and Stabler relationship timeline suggests that the pair had deeper feelings for one another than they were willing to admit. Stabler returned in 2021, and his wife was murdered almost immediately. While Law and Order, Organized Crime's first season focused on Stabler's quest to get justice after Kathy's, Isabel Gillies, death, her murder also cleared the path for Benson and Stabler to eventually get together. While this initially appeared to be the case, Law and Order, SVU made the mistake of ignoring Benson and Stabler's relationship in recent seasons, leaving their potential relationship in limbo. Maloney's Law and Order return revived Stabler and Benson's romance hopes. After a 10-year absence, there was finally hope for the couple. Stabler's exit from Law and Order, SVU was one of the most disappointing in the franchise. His final episode is one of Law and Order, SVU's saddest episodes, as he is forced to fatally shoot a young girl who steals a gun and opens fire in the squad room because she's angry that her mother isn't getting justice after a rape. Thus, it is understandable that Stabler would decide to leave the unit afterward. However, he left without saying goodbye to Benson, which threw cold water on any hope of romance between the two. Thus, when Stabler returned 10 years later, audiences were excited about the possibility that he and Benson might get together, especially after Kathy's death removed the biggest obstacle in their path. The early seasons of Law and Order, Organized Crime dropped hints that the two were destined to be a couple, including Richard Wheatley using Stabler's secret feelings against him and Stabler blurting out that he loved Benson during an intervention attempt. Unfortunately, these moments went nowhere, and progress in this relationship has been non-existent for the past few years. Law and Order can't move Benson and Stabler's relationship forward because they are in different shows. It would be logistically difficult since the two are rarely in the same episode. Law and Order, SVU Benson in a red trench coat walking with Stabler. Since Stabler appears primarily in Law and Order, Organized Crime, while Benson stars in Law and Order, SVU, it would be difficult for their relationship to progress beyond the thinking stage, as the pair don't often share scenes. The two shows made it work in Law and Order, Organized Crime's early seasons by having them talk or see each other occasionally. Meanwhile, in other episodes, Benson talked with Rollins about Stabler, or Bell asked Stabler about his and Benson's relationship status. This technique works better while Benson and Stabler are in denial about their feelings for each other. Once they are together, it would get tedious for other characters to talk about their relationship instead of it being depicted on screen. Law and Order, SVU currently has a similar dilemma with Rollins and Carisi. Rollins appears sporadically, while Carisi is part of Benson's Law and Order, SVU Season 26 team. Rollins' disappearances are explained by her being away on a mission. While this works to a degree, it would feel redundant if Benson and Stabler were also written this way. How the Law and Order franchise can bring Benson and Stabler together? There are several options, but it would be difficult. Law and Order, SVU Benson and Stabler standing together almost kissing. Law and Order, SVU and Law and Order, Organized Crime have been completely ignoring Benson and Stabler's relationship, with Benson lending Eileen Flynn the compass necklace Stabler gave her and the two barely talking. Law and Order, SVU Season 25 also missed obvious crossover appearances, making it appear the franchise is determined to pretend that Stabler doesn't exist while Law and Order, Organized Crime is in limbo. Supposedly, Benson will cross over to Stabler's series once it finally premieres on Peacock, but without a solid release date, that means little.